Welcome to Carcon Carney. I brought the ring light.
Hey.
It's beautiful.
It is, and we look crisp.
Yeah.
We look crisp.
The warm glow.
Actually, you're a warmer. Yours is almost a satanic glow because I've got the
Yeah.
dome light on you.
I'll take it.
You look a little malevolent back there, Dan.
It's like the devil on our shoulders.
Oh.
Carcon Carne, sponsored by my friend Brent Sopel, former Chicago Blackhawk. Brent Sopel, he helped us win the Stanley Cup several years ago, and now he's going to help you switch to solar. Think of the money you can save by switching to solar, locking in your energy costs for the foreseeable future. It's as simple as starting out on sopelsolar.com, S-O-P-E-L, solar.com, get a consultation. There's nothing out of pocket to switch to solar, and you can have cost certainty for the first time ever. First time ever, Bev Rage. First time ever, Dan Jarvis.
Wow.
Wow.
You don't say.
And here we are, Bev Rage and the Drinks. The new album is... It's in my hands. I can't even...
Yeah, it
The
exists.
myself.
The first one to hold one.
Yeah.
Is
First
it
person.
The
to hold one.
first non-band member?
First
Yep.
non-drink.
Stop
yeah.
it.
Yep.
The first non... This is a high honor. I don't know that I'm worthy, but I'm going to accept. I'm going to accept the honor.
2 days early.
The album Exes and Hexes out on Friday the 12th, right?
Saturday the 13th.
Saturday the
pretty
13th,
close,
which is
though.
the same day as the release show at Schubas.
Correct.
Schubas, which is amazing. We're going to talk at length about this album. Before we do, I just was handed this by Bev Rage and the Drinks, or actually 50% of Bev Rage and the Drinks. Look at how gorgeous. I mean, honestly, look how gorgeous this record is.
They are all hand poured by Dan Jarvis himself in the back
Yeah.
seat there.
Right here at Smash Plastic in Chicago.
That is no exaggeration. Dan actually does that. That's his thing.
Yeah, we press records. Only planned in Chicago.
This is our magic or our crystal ball swirl.
That's what we're saying.
what we're calling it now.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It looks great and it sounds great. And like I said, we'll talk about it. Bev Rage is to my right if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. When Bev Rage is not in my car, Bev Rage looks more like this.
Flowers and all.
I mean, this was kind of like a Superman Clark Kent moment. Like I pulled up.
It is true. I am bearded. I look very different. This is my go to shows. No one recognizes who I am.
Yeah.
Look. So, or right after band practice look.
But to be fair, had you been full Bev Rage right now, you said it, you wouldn't be able to like fit your hair in the car.
I don't fit in the car.
Yeah.
Whenever I drive to shows, if I put my wig on prior to it, I have to slouch in the car and try to crumple myself down. It's challenging.
It's
quite
a
a
whole
scene.
thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
You do have a sunroof though. So.
Yeah.
I do. So Bev Rage and the Drinks, again, Saturday the 13th, it is at Schubas, the record release show. The record is here. As we talk about that, I brought food. Here's the thing. We were going to meet at a hot dog joint kind of in the area where you practice. I spent some time in that area. I thought we'd be safer hanging out by where you practice. So here we are. I brought stuff. Oh my God, it's heavy. You want to just...
heavy.
It's heavy
Oh my
and
God.
greasy.
It is so heavy. Wow. Okay. So let's see what we got.
So I
here.
got you a veggie dog from this place. I
Thank you.
can't testify to how good a veggie dog from this place is going to
Hey.
be.
I love a veggie dog.
And I got Dan just a giant thing of fries.
Ooh, you know me
Fries.
too well. Yeah. I love a greasy bag of fries.
Oh my gosh.
I
it's
love a greasy bag of
literally like 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. It's
Bev Rage
so
and the
wet.
Drinks.
Oh, more fries.
Oh my God, that's just
That's for you, Bev Rage.
soaked right
perfect.
through.
All right. Let's see here.
And tell me that they didn't include napkins, because that would be...
There are
like-
napkins.
Okay.
Got it. Okay. Let me,
That's always my favorite thing, when you take out a bag full of greasy, dripping wet food, and there's
so
nothing
many
to...
fries.
Yeah. It's
That's
nice to
us.
eat in a car with other people
Oh,
for
this
once.
seems like a dog, maybe. Let's see.
Well,
Did you get
I got a
something,
dog
James?
as well, so one of these is veggie, one of these is not.
Oh, that's gonna be a fun adventure figuring out which one's
Yes.
which. But
We can usually tell. Let's see.
yeah.
Let's see.
Don't know. All
right.
See, now the challenge is I'm fine eating either one, but you...
It's true. Let me see.
That
what
looks
one
more
looks
like a hot dog, doesn't it?
Let's see what this one looks like.
It's gonna be the rest of the podcast.
This is it.
Is it in there?
There's a
Thanks
whole
for watching.
Whole episode.
Where
They
is
both
it
smell
even?
great.
Is it just hidden in there?
I
Oh,
just
wait,
see
there it
it,
is.
it's buried under French
Okay,
fries.
I think this one's yours.
Okay, I think so too.
Okay.
All right.
I hope I'm not
Hey,
putting
it's
you in
okay.
harm's way.
Don't worry.
Bev
It's all
Rage. All
good.
right, so we are at 50% of Bev Rage and the Drinks right now. Bev Rage, Dan in the back seat.
Correct.
Again, the new album, Exes and Hexes. This, my friends, this is the sound of a band having a good time. This is the sound of a band
Absolutely.
having fun.
We have a ton of fun.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we are self-proclaimed the most fun band in Chicago.
Oh.
You're also the self-described friendliest, sexiest, and gayest band in Chicago.
I would challenge anyone to find one that is gayer or
Yeah.
sexier than us. So, yes.
Case in point.
I'd be hard-pressed to really find one.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Mhm.
And you're
that
missing...
we could expand that to the Midwest, probably.
Absolutely, yeah. And you're missing the two gayest members of our band, Sam
true.
and Mary Rose.
They're in lesbian jail right now.
And
That's how
I'm a
gay they
drag
are.
queen, which is saying something, being gayer than me.
We're in lesbian jail?
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
Or do I? I don't. One thing I love about your approach to music, Bev Rage and the Drinks, Bev Rage, Dan Jarvis, your approach to video.
Ooh, yeah.
I mean, I've said this over and over. I've probably said this to you in the past, Dan. I'm surprised more bands haven't taken advantage of video, especially in a period where no one could tour. During COVID, it seems like what a great opportunity to express yourself. And you this band has gone all in. Like
It's a very visual band, as you might know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
very
so-
visual band. Permanent Receptionist is one of my favorite songs on this album. The moral of the story: it's hard to get a job these days.
Oh, absolutely.
It's true.
It is.
And sometimes you hate your job.
Most times. Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
Not there now, in case anyone's watching. I'm not there now. Perfectly happy.
Exactly.
Sam, who couldn't be here tonight, it's that bass that kind of
Yeah.
seduces you into the song.
Yeah. Sam is an incredible bass player. She's been with us for about 5 years, and she is also a videographer. So she does a lot of our videos, or at least gives us direction on the videographers that do them. So our band, like you said, it's an incredibly visual band. So what we do is we write all these songs, and we're like, well, it's almost a disservice to people to not make a video for them because we are incredibly visually interesting band, I guess maybe
so
would be a good
attractive,
word.
yeah.
And so attractive,
Sexy
so
and
sexy
gay, like
and
we
gay.
said, yeah.
But this album, for instance, we're doing 6 videos for the the album, which only has 11 songs on it. So we're really trying to capitalize on just making as much visual content as we possibly can. And I'm from like the time of music videos of like the 90s, so I love a music video. I love
I keep
thinking
waiting for
it
the
through.
Renaissance. I keep waiting for
It
it.
needs to happen.
Yeah.
We're hoping to help that. But I mean, I love a music video. I love a narrative. I love a story, and everything that we write is kind of a story in of itself. So we try to then portray that, whether it's through something silly or through something. You'll see maybe 1 or 2 serious ones coming out sometime soon. But yeah, it's been really fun. We work with
I don't know if I'm ready for a serious one.
Well, like that one where I dry hump a fax machine. Was that a serious one?
I mean, lyrically, yes.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty funny. But we just try to make as much like content as possible because we are such a visual band. So
And also, that's the way music listeners are. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
be where the fans are.
yeah,
Exactly.
They're not just consuming content in one way. We're all on our phones looking for something to capture
Exactly.
our attention, like Dan eating a bag of Funyuns in a video.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I do love a Funyun. That's my number 1 tour treat on the road.
Is it a tour treat?
Funyun.
I'm
Oh
sure,
yeah.
I'm sure band members love it when you enjoy that tour
Yeah,
treat.
it's a great breath afterwards. And
We are we're a very fun band to tour with too because we all have very similar personalities, so we get
Do you
along
really?
very well. Yeah,
You know how rare that is.
it's very rare. Yeah. We've all been in bands
Yeah.
with people who we might not get along with or kind of like clash a little bit, but this current lineup of Bev Rage and the Drinks is just like perfect. We all get along. We all love each other. We laugh constantly at practice and at photo shoots and video shoots. Everything is really easy.
Again, this is an album that sounds like a band that's having a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really an impressive thing to communicate that without communicating it.
Yeah.
This is a fun band.
We have been together in this lineup for 3.5 years, somewhere around there, right?
yeah, I mean, with a pandemic, it's hard to keep track, but
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, time flows differently.
Right.
It's strange because it feels like so long but so short because we've had such little time to actually play shows and be able to kind of show where we are as a band with this
Right.
current lineup, even though we've been together a long time. So it's really interesting to be able to play shows where people may have seen us 4 or 5, 6 years ago, and they're like, oh my God, holy shit, you have gotten way better. And we're like, well, we've been kind of like this for a while, but thanks for noticing.
Yeah.
At this point. But yeah, we're at our best right now. We're super proud of this album.
We should be.
And yeah, we can't wait for people to actually hear the new music that we've been putting up.
I'm working my way to the hot dog because I'm so paranoid that I got your veggie dog. I don't think I did.
I haven't even tried.
I just
mine
want to
yet.
eat it because I don't want to. This looks like a.
It
No,
looks like
actually, this looks like. I think I ordered a Polish. This looks like a Polish, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's see.
And yours is like. It's hidden.
It's like hidden, totally hidden.
Is there even a hot dog in there?
It might not even.
Is that their veggie dog? It's just
Maybe
ingredients.
Oh, I wonder
veggie
if
dog
it's just
doesn't-
like condiments.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it is. I think it's just like fries.
Oh my God,
my
they just
God,
put like
is
a
it
dill
really?
pickle spear.
They totally did. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Hey, I'll eat it.
That's their veggie dog.
That is hilarious.
Well, good thing you asked for everything.
Right?
Oh my
Right,
gosh.
you just would have had a bun otherwise.
I was like, I haven't seen the. Could you hold these actually, Dan?
Sure.
Yeah, I kept looking for like something satanish or.
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope, nothing. Hey,
Just relish.
I'm into
Hail
it.
Satan.
I'll eat it.
Oh my God.
Love it.
So the other video I just referenced with Dan eating Funyuns, a tour favorite, that's Perfect Guy.
Yeah.
And then Hollywood Beach, you just released that. We're recording this on Thursday night. That just came out this week, right?
It came out on Monday. That video was done mostly on green screen, but a lot of it was filmed actually at Hollywood Beach, which is the gay beach in Chicago.
I didn't know that. And this is where Bev Rage and the Drinks provides a public service. You can learn
true.
things. I didn't realize Hollywood Beach was the gay beach.
It is, absolutely. It's been that way for a very long time, ever since I've lived in Chicago over the past 15 years. I love Hollywood Beach. I go there often. It's not just gay, but queer friendly. You see everyone there. You don't really get bothered there, which is nice. So you can like smoke or drink or do whatever you do, and no one's gonna really bother you. So that's nice. And it's kind of been like a safe space for me. I live in Andersonville in Chicago, so I just walk over to Hollywood Beach, hang out, and it's a place by the lake that you can just kind of like feel okay as like a queer person. You'll see everyone like in various clothed states.
Sure, it's a beach.
Beach, yeah.
And yeah, it's a really fun place. If you haven't been there, everybody's welcome.
I love that. And I mean, what could be more Chicago?
Yeah.
I mean, I love when bands tip their hat toward their localness.
Yeah.
It's Kathy Osterman Beach. That's what the Straits call it.
That is what I say in the song. The Straits
Yeah.
call it Osterman.
Situated in the northernmost tip of Lincoln Park. Come and join me down in Hollywood or at Hollywood Beach. I mean, that's a favorite, and the video's hilarious. There's a sea monster in it,
Yep.
which there almost would have to be. You would have done something wrong had there not been a sea monster.
Exactly. So the
Are
sea
there
monster.
real sea monsters at the beach, or is that just part of the
I mean,
shtick?
it depends on what you think a monster is.
There's
Dan.
some lore.
That's true, yeah.
There is some lore. The video was actually directed and shot by the sea monster who was in that video. His name's John Paul Ward. He's a friend of mine, and he shot the video all on green screen, and then he took his sea monster costume to the beach and filmed all of that on his own.
And if you're going to get away with wearing a sea monster costume at the beach, the gay beach is probably the safest place to do it.
It's so funny if you really look at that video and see the looks of the people behind him. It's fantastic.
Watch that again.
Just like focus on the people behind him because they're all like, "What the hell is going on back there?"
I want to talk about drink water. Again, you can learn things from Bev Rage and the Drinks. Stay hydrated. Try to beat those hangovers.
Absolutely.
There's a real lesson there.
Yep.
Is this song, am I being presumptuous by thinking this is a descendant of Bitch and Camaro by the Dead Milkmen?
Ooh.
I've never thought of it that way, but
Yeah,
it does make sense.
It's got the same vibe, yeah.
Absolutely. I love the Dead Milkmen.
A little cleaner.
I've never considered them a reference or an influence to me, but I could totally see that.
Yeah, I'm
for
a
sure.
Milkman fan myself.
Yeah.
Just that, the opening
Yep.
seemed like at least a spiritual,
Absolutely.
kindred spirit.
That opening
Spiel?
sound, that like spiel, was actually used over some recordings at Kohl's, the bar in Chicago.
Yeah, that's real
our-
Cole's crowd.
Our producer, who
I thought you meant Kohl's, the clothing store.
oh
I went for some Sephora concealer.
yeah, I
and-
got some. I had my Kohl's cash. I just took my recorder. No, Brian Fox, who is the producer of our album, who also recorded it, took a recorder to Cole's and just recorded some crowd noise. So that's where that came from.
Perfect. Again, local.
Yeah,
It's all
keeping it
local.
local.
Everything we do is.
Keeping it local.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about Misconnection. This is kind of buried
Yeah.
at the end of the album. It'll probably sound even better as we head closer to Halloween, I think.
Yeah.
There are organ sounds in there. Tell me what this song is or where this came from.
So that song, it's one of my favorites on the album. It's really fun to play live, although we haven't yet. We're playing
It's
it
true.
at our release
First time.
show.
Wait, your release show on the 13th at Schubas?
That's the one.
Yeah. So that song is, I mean, it's a little different from what people may expect from us. It has organ, it has theremin, it has lap steel
Wait,
guitar.
who plays the theremin in the band?
I did. I played organ, theremin, lap steel, and regular guitar in that track.
It's
But-
funny. I just had Fishbone on the podcast a couple days ago,
Oh, nice.
and Angelo from Fishbone is a theremin player.
Oh.
And I'm watching him, watching videos of him doing it. I'm like, I want to learn how to play theremin.
Yeah, it's an interesting instrument. I just kind of kept doing things and looking at Brian and Bev in the control room till they, gave me a thumbs up. Like, okay, great, we got it. All right.
Because
Yeah.
one hand, I mean,
One hand controls volume up and down, and then the other hand controls pitch. So you just, it's an instrument you don't touch. It's the only instrument you can play without touching it.
super cool. It's
Yeah.
space age.
It
And
is
they
very
play mini
space age.
theremins. I went down the rabbit hole this week with theremins.
Yeah. We got the guy that invented it's like brilliant too, and his wife, Clara Rockmore. Not to get down the rabbit hole again, but she, loved him so much in his invention that she became like the world's foremost player. She was one of the virtuosos of it.
Clara Rockmore sounds like someone who would have been on a radio station I worked
Absolutely.
at in the 80s. So
Yeah.
Clara Rockmore, 40 minutes nonstop.
40 minutes of theremin.
40 minutes of theremin rock.
Yeah. Or my drag daughter.
I think that's the longest song on the album too, isn't it?
It is. It's almost 5 minutes
It's like
long. I believe,
4.5
which is
minute
a lot
epic.
for us. That song is a really good closer to the album. I think it's.
I like it. I like it at the end of the album because it's kind of an outlier.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's a manic sounding song on the record. Maybe one that speaks to relationship issues on the album. You know where I'm going? Long distance mistake.
Oh, yes. Long distance mistake. So that song is interesting because it's all real. I went through a period of my life where I would try to date long distance for whatever reason. I can talk to my therapist about that at some point.
What
But,
could possibly go wrong?
So that song is it's all true. Basically everything on the album lyrically is true. Everything I write is from like a true place or like a slightly exaggerated true place. So I don't change names, I don't change situations. So if any of those people that are named on that song hear it, then you're welcome. But the song is it's pretty manic. It's an interesting one. That's one of the songs live that I play without playing a guitar on it. So it's really fun to kind of just like be off the guitar, be on a mic, do all the Bev things that I do during the show.
So when you talk about these are your stories. When you have the word Exes in the title of the album, and this really is your
Yeah.
Exes.
It's true. It's an interesting. So the album came about in an interesting way because it is all pretty much a product of the pandemic. So I had to reflect on all of the things that were going on at the time. So like, of course, the weight of the pandemic was hitting us. We were a band that was trying to do a lot right when the pandemic hit, and so much of our lives got canceled.
Sure.
Which is the story of everyone, right? But the Exes and Hexes part of it came about with a lot of my songs lyrically are about like relationship issues or like queer identity or trying to figure out how to kind of like navigate the world, like being like a drag queen and a musician in like a like pretty much like stereotypical gay world. So the Exes part of that is, of course, writing all these songs about past relationships and people that have gone through my life in one way or another. But the Hexes part of it is all about trying to overcome all of these kind of like barriers that have been put upon me through the years that may be self-inflicted or inflicted by surrounding issues, but it's pretty much trying to break through those hexes that have contributed to the X's in my life, whether that's romantic or friendships or professionally, things like that.
Who needs a therapist when you have music?
Exactly. Yeah.
Music's there to work it out.
Yeah. And it doesn't have a copay.
Hey.
It doesn't have a copay. Exactly. Attitude, I love. A little bit of swagger.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
It's an aggressive one. We dedicate that song to the Supreme Court every time we play it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to ask you too. I talked about this being a fun record. You're a fun band, but you also talk about queer identity. Do you feel a burden to talk about queer rights are under fire? They're under attack. It's a scary time. Do you feel the weight of that in your music? Do you feel like you need to express that, or do you keep that separate from your songwriting?
Personally, I absolutely feel the need to address it because it's a huge part of all of our lives in the band. So it's really important for us to actually have a message and be able to relay that to whoever our listeners are. So, like I said earlier, I am a child of the 90s, so there wasn't that much queer music to listen to. Of course, there was like the Riot Girl scene or like Pansy Division.
That's the one everyone always says, Pansy Division.
Yeah, and there was, of course, that music, but it was so buried. It was so, like, not at the forefront of things that were really available to people. So I'm not trying to be like, I am the end-all, be-all of, like, queer musicians, especially in Chicago, because we have such an amazing scene with a lot of younger people doing really great things. But I do think that I do have a responsibility to talk about the things that are important to me and that affect my life really pretty much daily. I mean, especially right now with identity and like the Supreme Court being so volatile and not being able to really know what's coming up. So yeah, and 3/4 of our band are queer, and we all have similar struggles. Sam and Mary Rose have different struggles than I do, of course, but it's all kind of lumped together with a lot of our like what we think about for our futures. So yeah, I do feel responsible for it, but I also like to put a like humorous spin on it because that makes it relatable and it makes it something that's easily digestible to people.
It's interesting. I keep coming back to this idea that, especially over the past 6 years, I'm surprised more bands aren't more outspoken about social issues. I mean, and certainly you can find examples that are, but I just expected like a wave of that kind of music and that kind of message coming out. I don't know that I felt it yet.
Yeah, I did too. After 2016, I expected that too.
I think we all did. We expected it to be
I wanted to start a
1977
punk
birth
band
of
right
punk
away,
rock. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we all got kind of jaded, honestly.
Yeah,
like as soon as
did.
like Trump got elected and 2016 hit, then the pandemic hit, it almost felt like a wave of difficulties coming over you. But I've always tried to write things that were relevant to the current day. I don't really I'm not too nostalgic in that sense, so I try to write really up-to-date things. And especially right now, I feel very like galvanized to actually like write more politically motivated things. But I'm a 7-foot-tall drag queen, so it's always going to be funny. So my humor's never going to go anywhere, but I think that humor is a good way to get your point across a lot of times. And you feel a lot of that in this new album too, I believe.
Because you are a 7-foot-tall drag queen on stage, does that mean that anyone in the band can wear whatever the fuck they want on stage because no one will even notice?
Can we?
Absolutely not. They have to go through me,
It's a very
and they have to fill out a
strict dress
form
code.
and submit.
Because all eyes are on Bev Rage. I mean,
Right.
You can't take your eyes off Bev Rage on
No,
stage.
I'm kidding. They can wear whatever the hell they want. Usually they theme themselves around each other, and then I wear whatever the hell I want. I'm usually the outlier on stage. But
well, none of us have the wig collection you have, so
it's true.
It's hard to beat. I do have good hair though.
You have outstanding hair, Dan.
Gorgeous
Jarvis.
hair. Dan has better hair than me.
Thank you.
All right, so again, Bev Rage, Dan Jarvis. Shout out to Mary Rose.
Hey, Mary.
One of the most versatile drummers in the
Incredible.
city of Chicago.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
I'm surprised you're able to have her in your band. She seems so
No,
busy.
We thought she'd be too good for us, honestly, when we asked her to join up.
Yeah. We asked her
She's
to
never gonna
join
wanna join.
like 3 years ago, and as soon as our old drummer left the band, we were like, oh man, who are we going to get? And immediately we were all like, oh, well, Mary Rose is too busy. But we were already friends with her, so it was like, oh, maybe I'll just ask her. But before I even asked her, she messaged me, and she was like, how dare you not ask me to be in your band? Of course I'm going to be the one.
Amazing. Yeah,
So I
she's
took
great.
down the
It was
ad
meant to be.
immediately.
And she's super fun to watch, too.
So
Absolutely.
good, yeah.
And Sam, of course, the other member.
Hey, Sam.
We referenced the bass and the video prowess.
Sam's incredible, and Sam actually has some really amazing background vocals too.
Yeah.
So all of the not all of the harmonies, some of them are Dan as well, but a lot of the harmonies on the newer record are all Sam in the background. And I do want to shout out Dan too. Like Dan's lead guitar playing, holy shit, it is like out of this world.
You're too
Plus
kind.
the theremin, plus the lap guitar, all of the things that he did on this album are just like
Dan's
incredible.
a musician's musician.
Yeah.
I tried to be.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Job well done. All right, so again, I mentioned that this is the sound of a band having fun. This is also the sound of a band making good music. You really did. You hit your stride on this one.
Thank you.
Exes and Hexes, the album is out on Saturday the 13th. See this band at Schubas. I mean, a small, intimate venue for the record release show. That's
Pretty intimate.
that's going to be a blast.
It's going to be amazing. We're playing with, so Schubas, August 13th, we're playing with No Men, who is another amazing Chicago band and friends of ours. And we're playing with a new band called XYZ. I think that's how you pronounce their name. It might be Zhuzh. I don't know. But they are former members of Pylons, which is one of my favorite
Kodachrome.
Chicago bands, and Kodachrome. It'll be a really great show. We will have our album for sale. We have a ton of new t-shirts and merch with that exact same image on it. It's going to be really fun.
It's a stunning image.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you can get that record. If you don't come to the show, you can get it through us or through our label, What's for Breakfast Records.
Yeah, what's for breakfast?
That's the name of the label?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Great punk label. Great
Yeah.
Chicago punk
They're
label.
great. They're
That's-
also a local band, or a local label.
If you like food and you like punk rock, what's for breakfast?
Exactly.
All right, Bev Rage. Dan, thank you for doing this. Thank you for watching and listening. Support this band. Go see them. Listen to the music. Watch the videos. They're super fun. Bev Rage and the drinks. Let a friend know about this podcast, please. carconcarne.com.